Welcome to the first episode of the Nothing and Everything podcast. And this is where we will talk a lot about nothing.
And a little bit about everything, maybe.
Maybe we'll talk about everything, but nothing?
But nothing at the same time.
Something like that.
So the point is, keep your expectations low.
Keep them low, and you'll be well satisfied.
We will exceed your expectations.
There you go.
Who
My
are
name
you?
is, what? Okay. My name is Gerald, and I have the great privilege of leading worship at the Mallard Creek campus of Hickory Grove Baptist Church. What about you, Kyle?
Well, my name is Kyle, Kyle Scarlett. I am the family discipleship pastor at our Harris campus at Hickory Grove Baptist Church.
What does that even mean, family discipleship pastor?
Oh, boy. I oversee all the family ministries and children from about 5th grade down.
Okay.
So I help that.
That's good.
What is worship? What does that even mean? What do you do?
I'm the lead singer of our church band.
Yes, you are. You are an excellent singer.
Yeah, hey, I appreciate that. There you
but
go.
Is this a Hickory Grove podcast though?
Well, not really. But I guess because both of us are pastors on staff at Hickory Grove, it'll intertwine, that our roles will kind of be present in this podcast. So
it's a pretty big part of our lives.
Yeah, it is a huge part of our lives. Matter of fact, we're both not from Charlotte, so we're both only in Charlotte because of Hickory Grove.
That's right.
So huge part of our lives. So we'll talk a lot about church stuff, maybe church people.
Ooh, look out. Who's it going to be this week?
But we won't say your names. We'll just probably talk about you.
And we'll just go, you know who we're talking about. But why, we were talking about this before, why are we even doing this?
This podcast?
Yeah.
Well,
why? Who needs more nothing and less of everything?
Give me about another 3 or 4 episodes, and then I'll be
then
able
we'll
to
figure
tell
it
you
out.
why we're actually doing this.
I seriously still think that our reason is because you and I don't see each other enough. We need to have a date on the calendar.
That is
we
right.
need to have a date each week to be able to put something ridiculous together.
Some
just
fun
you
stuff
and I
together.
bantering. So.
Where we just hang out and talk about nothing.
And everything.
That was good.
That was good. Yeah, that was good. All right.
Well, since we're both pastors at Hickory Grove, let's talk about a huge event that is coming up soon. Now, we won't probably do this all the time, but there is a pretty massive event coming up, and it's called Date Night. Okay? So Date Night is it's on February 11th.
Correct.
Is that right?
It's a Friday.
It's a Friday night.
Yep.
February 11th.
That's when you want to date. It's hard to date on Tuesday.
Friday night.
Yeah.
It is hard to date on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
It's possible.
What's the point of the date night, though? This date night.
Oh,
not,
this particular
not
one.
general date night.
Oh,
those are always
right.
good, yeah.
This particular date night, Herschel York. Herschel York. When was the last time you heard the name Herschel?
So there's a couple of Herschels that jump in my mind, but there's really only one that stands out.
Okay.
Is the great running back from the Georgia Bulldogs.
Oh, Herschel
Dallas
Walker.
Cowboys, played for the Vikings as well. Herschel Walker.
Yeah, those Viking days weren't very good for him.
No, but I think he got treated unfairly.
Speaking of Herschel Walker, like Georgia, a
Yeah.
lot of Georgia fans still kind of celebrating from.
Are they?
Pretty big win.
You're from Georgia. I'm from Alabama.
I am
so.
I'm not a huge Georgia fan though.
But I'm not a huge Alabama fan. I'm fine with him.
Yeah.
I'm not anti-Crimson Tide.
Yeah.
But.
Okay. Well.
So you want to hear my Herschel Walker story?
Yes, let's hear that.
Okay. Do you have one? Being
Herschel
from
Walker
Georgia?
story?
Yeah.
No.
He used to do 1,000 sit-ups a day or 1,000 push-ups. That was how it got all big. I was in 8th grade social studies class, and our teacher was she's like this 60-year-old lady who was a big sports fan, so she would always try to weave it into whatever we were talking about. Mm-hmm. And so, I don't know, we were talking about, learning about cities and the different cities around the country, but somehow the sports teams came into it, and so she wanted us to write letters to the sports team to see if we could get some type of memorabilia back, a autograph, some, a poster, something like that. Yeah. That was really big. I don't know if people do that still now, but that was in my wheelhouse, collecting baseball cards, trying to get autographs, posters, all that stuff. Baseball, football, basketball fan. So I wrote, I think at the time, he was with the Cowboys, I believe, and I wrote, and Herschel Walker sent me an autograph. It has a picture. It was he was sponsored by Adidas or somebody back then.
Oh, wow.
And so it was probably a ghostwriter, but I got an actual autograph of Herschel Walker.
You still have it?
Maybe.
Because he's going to be like a senator or something.
Is he?
Congressman. He's running for Congress or something down in
So he's going to be
Georgia.
speaking at the date night?
Well, Not that one.
Oh, wrong Herschel.
Herschel York, but he's like a seminary professor. Is that right?
Yep.
At
Southern.
Southern. Yep. So he and his wife will be here, and his name is spelled different. Did you notice that on the signs?
I hadn't paid attention.
Oh, there's like an A in Herschel.
Wait, H-E-R.
Like
S?
S-H-A-E-L.
Herschel.
Herschel.
It's Hebrew. Herschel.
I don't know about that.
But like his name is spelled weird, but
I know a lot about.
You're kind of notorious for
somehow. Yeah, I started. It was kind of a joke, and it was like poster Gerald because my name gets misspelled.
That's typically a pretty active hashtag too, isn't it? Poster Gerald. Hashtag poster
active
Gerald.
By only me, yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's like less than.
It's like
100.
once a week we see you post.
I like put that out there, and it's like there's less than 100 of this hashtag out there. I'm like, well, yeah, but when I get to 100, you can stop saying that.
It'd be certified then.
Yeah, that's right. I'll be a blue check.
What's the worst not Gerald that somebody's written or called you or whatever?
My wife and I were at Starbucks one time down in at the Charlotte Premium Outlet little place down there. Mm-hmm. So we were going through, and the guy took my order. He says, "Hey, I need your name." I said, "Gerald." And I always lean in and I always say the D because it's like people are always like, "Oh, your Southern accent." I'm like, I know how to say my name, right? So anyway, so the guy was like, I got a little emotional about that. Anyway, so the guy was like, "Aaron?" And so like my wife, who always
E-R-I-N,
right?
Aaron?
No, like Aaron, Aaron.
Aaron.
But my wife is always like, "You don't say your name the right way," and so I was like, finally, I said it the right way, and my wife is right here as my witness, and she just laughed and walked off, and I was like, "No." And then he said something else to Jerry. He was like, "Aaron?" I was like, "No, Jerry." I was like, well, I mean, you're getting closer.
Maybe he was hearing impaired.
I don't know. So that was that was probably the worst, and I had someone with me to verify that.
And your wife who sold you out.
Yeah. Well, she's the only one that's going to listen to this podcast, so she's going to be like, I can't even tell anyone about it because no one's listening to this thing anyway.
If I share it, no one's going to know.
Yeah. So my name gets butchered all the time, but I am looking forward to Herschel and his wife Tanya coming and talking to us about marriage and all those kinds of things. It's going to be really fun. It's going to be a good night. Do you have like a terrible, like a bad date, like a worst date story or anything like that?
Man, that's good. So Carrie and I have been married for 20 years.
We've been married for
almost 20 years. Yeah.
Tammy and I.
We were married at the same time.
When were you married? Like what month?
February.
Oh.
February 9th.
Oh, we're August 4th.
Oh, I almost said that 2002. I almost said 2022, but that's this year. 2002. So that'd be 20 years.
We were married in 2001.
A little bit older. You have a little bit more wisdom.
I do. I am a wealth of knowledge.
I don't know that we ever had a bad date. I remember one time like trying to make a tuna fish sandwich, so we were going to go on a picnic. And, you squeeze the water out of the can of tuna, but I squeezed it, like, all over my shirt. I do remember that. I don't know if that was a bad date, but, like, I remember our first date, and it was, looking back, it was kind of weird because, like, it made Carrie really mad because I was, like, real kind of, like, nonchalant. Like, I was like, if you want to go hang out or whatever, and drove her crazy. And it was a double date, which is not really kind of the best first impression you want to.
Sure.
Hey, I really like you, but these are my friends too.
But it's also helpful on a double date, right?
And we ate Mexican food, and she did not like Mexican food at all. She loves it now, but didn't at the time.
Ooh.
And we went to a movie, which is not always the best. Like, we knew each other, like we were like kind of friends, like.
Yeah.
And but it wasn't a weird one. What about you?
We didn't really have like a bad date. Tammy and I don't remember like a really bad date. I do remember Tammy and I started dating when we were in college, and it was like we had no money.
Funds are low.
So we had this, like every Wednesday, McDonald's would do 29-cent hamburgers and 39-cent cheeseburgers.
I know. Can you splurge for the cheese?
So for like $1.50, man, you can fill up, And but yeah, we had like little place where we'd go eat wings, a little 25-cent wing night kind of deal, a place called 302, and then. But I do remember like our first Valentine's date, and that was a double date actually. So,
did you guys were you not allowed to go out on dates by yourself?
Well, we were, but Well, like in BSU, they're like the Baptist Student Union. They're like, hey, don't be by yourself, and all those kinds of things because that matters. And so my roommate and I were like, hey, let's take our girlfriends out. So like
you were
idiots.
Like McDonald's.
Well, somehow college students are resourceful. So when it matters to them, they'll find money. They'll find a way. And I was that kid. So it was like we rented a limo. Got dressed up. I mean, suits, everything. And we went like downtown Atlanta.
Oh.
And ate at some restaurant. And it was like.
That's legit.
Yeah. I probably spent $300 that whole night.
That was your first Valentine's?
First Valentine's.
Goodness gracious.
And then I said to myself, okay, how can I keep this up? Because next year it's going downhill.
Yeah.
Like next year is Zaxby's, yes. Right? So this year, first date, we'll eat at Puff Daddy's new restaurant or whatever, P. Diddy, whoever he is. He's got that place called Justin's or something like that. It might be shut down. I don't know. This is 20-something years ago. So 21 years ago. Anyway, there you have it. So we went there, but now it's like, it's not quite that.
I had a blind date one time that was like, not bad, like disastrous, but like awkward. Like it was college, so I didn't really have any money. I didn't have that was it. I didn't have a car at the time.
No, that's awkward.
So I borrowed my roommate's car, and it was like, a Ford Taurus. It was not anything nice, but at least got us to some cafe or some place we went to just go get dessert.
Yeah.
And this girl, I mean, she was nice. It wasn't anything terrible, but I could just tell like we just weren't kind of clicking.
Yeah.
So about, I don't know, 30, 45 minutes on the way, I was like, all right, I gotta run some errands. Like I can either take you back to the door. Seriously, I had to go pick up my paycheck, go to get some I don't know, some wart remover cream at the Walmart or something. I don't know what it was.
But it was actually nasty.
It wasn't that, but I'm just saying, like it was just like I got a to-do list.
Yeah, right.
And you're not a part of it,
but
you can tag along if you like.
Yeah.
And needless to say, we never went out again. So.
Wow. Do you have any good marriage advice or dating advice or anything like that? Probably marriage, because we don't know anything about dating.
I'm not a really good dater now.
We didn't do very well. You're picking up wart cream remover or whatever.
You're going to get a 39-cent cheeseburger at McDonald's.
We're not good at that. Okay.
That's a good question. I mean, I would say the best thing was like, it's a hard, serious Jesus juke. But like, I remember dating Carrie and when kind of before we dated, like, hey, if this is gonna be serious, and I kind of threw a feeler out there, like, hey, like, where's this gonna go? Not like us necessarily, but like, would you be open to?
Right.
Like, man, what if God called me to be a missionary in Sudan? Like, this is terrible. And she was like, I'd go. And I was like, all right, this is different.
Oh, that's cool.
I just and I wasn't like just trying to I gotta find the perfect like ministry missions type wife.
Right.
But it was just kind of like it wasn't going to go anywhere if you're not even open to kind of the Lord's direction later on. And luckily that and everything else worked out magically.
That's good.
What about you?
You
probably have better advice since you've been married 6 months more than me.
Actually, our first year or two of marriage was just tough.
Yeah.
Because, you don't realize how selfish you are until,
You got to live with somebody.
So you got to live with somebody and kind of the ebb and flow of learning how to do that. It's just tough. And so I felt like, we were kind of like always on edge, like always like, trying to figure it all out, you know? And then I had a buddy of mine, his name is Scott Smith. He's an evangelist down in Georgia. I've known him for years. And he told me, he says, man, if you keep this in mind, I think you'll be fine. So he called it the 3 Ds or something like that. And it was like dine daily. So have that set time every day where for sure you're going to have, that
not
meal.
just eat every day. Like individual. Like,
you want to eat every day.
Yeah, I was going to say.
You just need that just for life.
You need to have
But eating a meal together, because that's typically when you can talk. It's intentional time where you can talk about things that's happening day to day or whatever. And with kids, it's like, I think it's okay to incorporate the kids.
Dine daily with those other people sitting in the room
these
with
people
you.
who live in your house. Yeah.
That you made.
So dine daily because it's intentional. Sometimes it could, for Tammy and I, oftentimes it's breakfast and it's just a cup of coffee and we're just kind of talking about what's happening in the day and what's going on in our lives and stuff like that. Date weekly. It's a big deal. Date weekly.
It's a big deal. It's tough.
Hashtag date your wife or whatever Aaron Peters always says.
Yeah. Date your wife for life.
Date your wife for life. That's right.
Yeah.
So But that's a great idea. Go on a date every week. Now, when Tammy and I were first married, we had no money, so date night was like
ramen noodles.
Well,
the Blockbuster Video,
or going back to the college days, 39-cent cheeseburgers. Right, like we're trying to find a place that'll sell cheap food. But then we kind of, once we started having kids, we were like, okay, we need to. Tammy was real good about putting the kids down early, and then we would she would make dessert, and then we would watch a movie together or something like that. So it was like after the kids go to bed, we would have that set aside time, and it was like every Thursday night.
Doesn't have to be anything big or elaborate.
Doesn't have to be fancy at all. And now it's still not fancy for us. Now on Fridays I'm off work. All three kids are in school, so Fridays that's kind of our date day, and we typically go to lunch. So we'll go to lunch, we'll hang out. It's just me and her, and every now and then we might go to the mall and do some shopping or just some stuff, whatever.
That's cool.
So that's kind of like our date set aside time. But the other one,
that's 2 Ds.
That's 2 Ds. The third one is, Scott said depart monthly, but that like
get away from her, for her to get away from you.
Get away with her.
Oh, with her. Okay, just make sure.
With.
She might need a little. Not you.
What?
I don't know.
Anyway, so
together.
But going away monthly is kind of tough.
Yeah, it is.
So I mean, if you have children and just getting
employment.
So it's hard because it might cost a lot.
Yeah.
So we kind of morphed it into a depart yearly. So once a year we try to get away. It's typically around our anniversary. We'll just go someplace cool, just her and I. And again, that doesn't have to be extravagant at all.
It's just getting away.
It's just getting away. Like, I can tell you how to dine, date, and depart on a budget.
Come on now.
Because we've been doing that our whole marriage.
You should do a whole podcast on that.
I can do a whole podcast just on that.
Budget, 3 Ds.
Yeah, but whatever. The date night is going to be great. Herschel, Tanya, York, here at the Mallory Creek campus.
I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be
awesome.
fun.
Typically now, at my house, we have to be very mindful of being intentional, being together, because typically every night we watch some sort of sports. Like our lives are kind of sports, right?
Your life, yeah.
I got
much more than my life.
I mean, right. So I got boys that run and play basketball and those kinds of things, and my daughter, she's dabbling in cheerleading. So
you're a cheer dad?
I'm somewhat of a cheer dad this year.
You won't get a sticker and put on your truck that says cheer dad
with the little
megaphone
thing
and a pom pom.
Yeah, and her initials or something.
Josie would be so. Do it.
I'm not going to do that.
Cheer dad.
I don't like stickers.
I'm a volleyball
I don't like
dad.
stickers
so
on
you're
my truck.
Cheer dad.
Yeah, there you go. So, but yeah, we're always watching some sort of sports. I'm a huge Tar Heel fan. Love the Tar Heels. We just beat Louisville in a nail biter, which whatever. But yeah, sports. I like sports.
That was good.
Yeah, we're always watching something.
We want. I've been fortunate, with 5 daughters.
5 daughters?
5. Yeah. Is that just something new that you just learned?
No,
5.
I knew that about you. I'm kind of hoping you guys would.
What?
have a son.
Yeah. I thought that a long time ago.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it. Look, I'm excited with what I have, with where my quiver is.
There you go.
But I have been fortunate that my wife likes football.
Yeah.
I don't know that they like a whole lot of other sports. That are they think baseball's boring. They can't really keep up with basketball. Nothing else. Golf. Dad is stupid. But they do like football. A little bit of college, but especially NFL. So I've been very fortunate with that. So my oldest two. Everybody's got their team. My oldest one is my insider. She's the first one that texted me. He's like, Ben Roethlisberger retired. Tom Brady's retired.
What about that?
She's my she breaks the news to me. Before I pay attention.
I bet she knew about Tom Brady retiring before
he was ready to let it out.
He was ready to let it out.
She's like the Adam Schefter of our house.
What about that? He's
our age.
44?
Are you 46 or 45?
We're not.
44.
I think we're not ready to disclose those kind of details.
I'm 2 years older than Tom Brady.
Good night.
And I didn't have much of an NFL career.
You were like a kicker or something in high school, weren't you?
Yeah, I was a kicker. So I was on the football team, but I wasn't a football player.
Yeah, I played football.
Yeah?
Middle school, played a little bit in high school. But, I come from a really good high school football team.
Yeah, mine was too.
And I was not a good football player.
I was a decent kicker.
I was a singer.
Did you sing on the sideline?
Shit.
In the huddle?
No.
Hey guys, I gotta call a play.
Is that how I sing? Is that what it sounds like?
That's how it sounds.
Oh, that's great. Anyway, but could you imagine being like
this age playing a professional sport?
A professional sport. And
I mean,
don't
golf.
Like golf.
I'm saying that I could see that. I mean, I'm not that good at golf, but like, yeah, I don't know how they do it.
I don't
like
either.
Exercising, consistency, the wear and tear on your body, like.
I mean, pretty much all I can do is run and like in a straight line. If I try to zigzag or turn too
you're a
hard,
pretty decent runner.
My ACLs, both of them would just quit.
Don't you got some screws in your knee or something?
I have 2 screws in my knee. One has actually been backing out for several years. Like it's.
Do they have to screw it back in?
I don't know who they is, but I'm not going to let them do it.
I mean, a medical professional, like a doctor.
No.
Not like the maintenance guys or something.
I mean, like you can see it. Like it sticks out. Like.
That's
it's
creepy.
Bad. Yeah, it's bad. And
man.
Like I've bumped it on like a bumper or like the hitch on my truck. Just kind of.
I bumped the screw in my knee.
Oh man, it hurts.
What if you like ripped it?
It hurts so bad. You know, like I was doing the massage gun on my leg the other day because I need that.
More people our age talk about massage guns all the time.
So I was using that because I need that every day of my life. And Miles was like, my oldest son was like, hey, put that on your, don't hit that little screw or whatever. So I went over and it was like, it was crazy. Man, it hurt. It hurt. And I was like,
that's about it for people like us.
For my kid and hurt myself. So anyway, you have any injuries? Wait, you recently, didn't you have an injury?
Yeah, a few months ago. So yeah, this has been my big injury. I was playing in the my daughter's in Spanish immersion. My middle daughter's in Spanish immersion at Hickory Grove, and so they had this I don't know, some kind of festival, but they wanted to do like students versus teachers. They didn't have quite enough teachers to play soccer, so they asked a few pastors and just some other leaders. And I was like, yeah, I'll play. Just kick around, but you can't let third graders beat you.
Right.
So they were talking a lot of junk, which was fine. And so when I got out there, I was feeling really good. But I sustained a pretty substantial injury where I basically tore, not just like tweaked it, like my hamstring.
Like, did it unravel up your leg?
It was like, I don't know, but my leg was black and blue for a month. And I went to the sports trainer. She's like, yeah, but the good thing is like, it was during a throw-in. Like, it wasn't even like
you didn't even score a goal?
I had a breakaway and I was all by myself.
It was like,
hey, let me, yeah. It was terrible.
Was that weird?
Yeah.
It sounds weird.
Weird, embarrassing, and it was like my wife was just like, you are totally that dad who's like, I was like, I did it. And then I could not hardly walk for a couple weeks. Old man, I need a massage gun.
The massage gun,
I have a yeah, we use it, seriously.
Yeah, it has changed my life. Massage gun's awesome. But yeah, pretty much all I do is sit around and eat now. I can't play many sports.
You run so you can't eat.
I run so I can eat. Yes.
I run so I can eat, but then I just stop the running sometimes. And then you're like, wait a second, the balance is off a little bit.
I mean, let's face it. In life, you don't have to run, but you have to eat.
That is true. See?
So if you're going to eat, I've recently got a smoker. So
seen a couple things out there. You've not brought me anything or invited me over for a smoke yet. So.
Right. Well, I smoke a lot of meat.
So what's the deal with smoking versus just throwing it on the grill or?
I mean, I love to grill as well.
Yeah.
But something about smoking like a pork butt or a pork shoulder or whatever it's called. It's always weird. When
Everybody
I tell people
says
that.
Like,
I always try to say a Boston pork.
So
then you can avoid the B word. But so anyway,
all of our middle school listeners right now are going.
And by all of them, you mean just your kids and my kids, right? So I got
one of each.
Yeah, Dad, you said butt on the podcast. Anyway, so smoking like a pork butt, man, it's just really good. So the very first one I ever did, it was absolutely terrible. I literally had to cut the meat off the bone. It was so bad. It tasted good.
Like, what makes it terrible?
Well,
like
I didn't smoke it
too
long enough.
Not long enough.
Yeah, I didn't smoke it long enough. So the meat was ready, but it just wasn't good. I mean, like it was too tough.
Yeah.
But then the second and third time, I posted a video where you pull the bone out and it just slides right out, and then you just like squeeze the meat because I have these cool gloves that can withstand like thousands of degree of temperature, whatever. So you squeeze the meat and then it just like falls apart.
Nice.
So I've been doing some of that. So, but I do a lot of chicken and sausage and stuff like that.
That's cool.
And,
I'll waiting for the invite. Bring us over.
Yeah, we should maybe
bring some in.
Maybe I can bring some in. Is it weird if we were eating and we can't eat like ribs in here. We'll be all messy.
Off the bone.
Maybe we can do a trade-off.
Yeah.
I want.
Yeah, I don't smoke meat, but we have something else at our house.
Tell them about it.
Well, it's just baked goods.
I like baked goods.
Confectionery baked goods.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my wife. I mean, amateur, professional. She's got a little side business.
You should probably have said
she's been doing
professional.
It for a while. Well, I mean, I guess it's professional if people are, paying for a cupcake.
I mean,
I guess that's professional as it gets.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, she's been doing it a while. She kind of dabbled in it, but dabbled like a while ago, and then it just kind of picked up steam. I mean, she's honestly been doing it for 10 or 12 years, maybe even longer. And her stuff, it just has better taste than anybody else. Like to me, like she doesn't get into like crazy intricate stuff.
Yeah.
It stresses her out, which is understandable. But like she can work on a recipe and figure it out. Like you said, like you mess it up the first time.
Yeah.
She knows what to tweak and change.
That's good.
And it's pretty good stuff.
Good.
Carrie's Confection. She's been really busy.
Now she has she's been working on something here recent, right?
Oh, the new obsession.
Tell me about it.
Macarons.
Yeah. So those are a lot easier to eat, like on the podcast.
They are. So if we had like a little smoked chicken wing and a macaron in one hand.
Maybe just the macaron.
What are you bringing to the table?
You can't eat wings on a podcast. That's weird.
That would be weird. But macarons would be much.
We can just have like them sitting right here, and then we. You know what? We can have wings.
Yeah.
And then we'll eat the wings after the show.
That'll work.
But we can eat the macarons.
Macarons? The macaron?
I don't know.
It's not macaroon. I have been corrected.
That's like a coconut something, right?
That's exactly. Look at you.
I don't like coconuts.
Oh,
and
I do.
I completely guessed.
But I always just thought it was just one thing, macaroon.
Oh.
But it's Ron.
Macaron.
I'll see what I can do. So if our one listener, Carrie, if you're listening, we're going to need some macarons if you'd like to sponsor this podcast.
It's probably a good time to call it quits right now. I have no idea what else to say or talk about. Oh, I would like to thank Austin Cheney, who is
Austin.
He's our producer / videographer engineer / all those things.
Yeah.
This would not be possible. Well, really, it would be possible. We could do all this stuff.
It would
ourselves.
Just be terrible.
Yeah.
The quality would be.
It's just more fun with Austin in the room. So anyway, So we're, I guess we're working on some sort of a social media something.
We ain't working on it. It's for real.
It's for real. Okay.
Yeah. You want to go ahead and plug that for the people?
Plug it for the people.
Yeah.
Nothing and everything _podcast.
Don't forget the underscore.
Don't forget the underscore.
Instagram.
On the Insta. So I guess what we'll do is we'll just send a link out and people will just click a link and go to it or something. I don't know.
They're going to be really excited.
This is where Austin comes in handy because he's under 30, so therefore that means he knows how to do this stuff. Right? I hope so.
On my MySpace page.
He's just like, I work with old people. That's what he's saying right now. Yeah.
He's like, I don't even know
you
what
guys
are
so
about.
Lame. So
Nothing and everything _podcast on Instagram.
Yep. This has been fun. Fun first episode. Maybe we'll do this again.
There's no maybe. We're committed to it now.
Well, we might get shut down.
Yeah. So if you guys have comments or questions that you want to ask, we can't wait to start getting viewer mail.
Yeah, this is going to be awesome.
Ask Gerald and Kyle anything.
Oh, gosh.
Ask them nothing. Ask them everything.
And then we'll talk about nothing.
And a little bit of everything.
It's almost like shake and bake. Like,
are you the shake and I'm the bake?
I guess so.
Yeah. I'll be the bake because of Carrie, and you be the shake because of smoking. That doesn't make any sense.
That's it for today, folks. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.